Alrighty. I've got 92%, so, or 98 or whatever. So that's good for me. I really do need to actually eat though. Pause that really quick. So, I'm going to try my best to continue this little rant. It actually cut me off and ended it for whatever reason. I think for whatever reason, ran out of storage. So, unlike YouTube where it doesn't even save it, it just cuts me off, which is nice. Although it already ran at 25 percent run or 25-minute runtime. But yeah, I just wanted to finish what I was saying from earlier and say that I pretty much when I just got off the phone with my brother John, and he actually does help calm me down. I don't know what it is, but talking to him on the phone, even if it's not even about the matter itself, he helps me calm down and everything. He always does, and I'm sorry if you're looking at a really fucking bright light there. Well, I guess that's darkness when you think about it. From light to dark. I was going to try and clean my kitchen because I just got finished cooking too. But yeah, so I'm a little bit ticked off right now still about a few things. My friend Kimmy, when I was making the video, when I said, "Oh, well, I'll get to that in a minute," it's because I got the banner pop up on my iPhone saying on how, Kimmy sent me a photo on Kick, which I delete my Kick on and off because I'm trying to not have as many apps that I don't need on my phone, and I'm trying to lessen how many texting apps I have to begin with. And ultimately, I'm just trying to distance myself from my iPhone because most people in America, I don't know about other countries, which I do want to travel. I was just talking about that to John. But here in America, everyone is so glued onto their phones. Like, you can't see the side of the phone, obviously, but I'm like holding it intensely. Like, they always have to fucking text. They always have to have their phone in their hand. Me, I'd rather have a phone that just does what I need it to do and call it done. I don't need all these mini app or application mobile games and whatnot. I don't need that. When I had very simple games on my phone before the smartphone era, we had Snake, we had, variations of pinball or Pong or whatever. I mean, you had that on the old rotating, the rotating dial on the iPhone. You had it on those too. Solitude. That's fine. Simple games. They don't take up much space. And it gives you something to do when you're bored. Play an old school arcade game. Okay, so I guess she sent that picture yesterday. But yeah, so my friend Kimmy and I, we used to be like this. She used to be my, outside of John, a few years ago, outside of John, she was my best friend. I was with my ex, Cassandra, and she had an iPad. I'd use the iPad. I set it up facing the TV. Yes, that would give a lag, but still. She'd sit there and we'd play Resident Evil together, even though she lives in Alabama, and so that's how we had to improvise and do it. We used to be best friends, and eventually we actually grown feelings for each other. And in my opinion, she's attractive. Me and her have everything in common. I would not mind being with her whatsoever. She was attractive when I met her. Her body changed a little bit after, she had a kid. But even then, she's still good looking in my eyes, and because of all the drama that's going on, because she got married around the time that I met her, she was like, I think 18. It's been a few years, so, marriage going on however many years. And it's just all this bullshit and drama and unneeded stress and, and it's been the same thing on my end, and we ended up disconnecting and not talking and whatnot for a while. And even when me and Rena got together, she told me she didn't want me to talk to her because essentially she was threatened. She knew I used to have feelings for Kimmy. And I stopped talking to Kimmy, and it upset me. But it helped me with those phantom or residue or, residual or whatever the word would be, feelings. Because I wanted to just be friends with Kimmy. And I wanted her to treat me like a friend. And I think it's just because when Raina found me, I was damaged. There was a lot of things that happened, and it just hurt that you know, she said she wanted to be with me and then ultimately just goes back and is like, no, we're just friends. So that's going to hurt no matter what the situation is, you know? But yeah, so I sit there and I told Kimmy, I was like, you know, and yes, I will admit, and even if she finds this video, I'll admit, when I texted it to her like 2 days ago or whatever, however long ago, then I ended up deleting my kick. I mean, I know if people reply, then the reply will be there when I get back, just not the entire conversation. So as long as I remember what the hell I was saying, it will be fine. But I asked her, I was like, hey, would you mind, I was like, send me some pictures, and I sent a wink face. And most people know what the fuck a wink face is, and she was like, why? And I'm like, and yes, at the time, I will admit, I was horny. And like I said, I find her attractive, and she never really sent me pictures like that in the past, but it was always fun to try and like, tease her and get her on, or not get her on, but you know, whatnot. I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like, Kimmy, in case you find this video, I don't want you to think that like I manipulate you or anything, but I do love you both as a friend, and you know, I wouldn't mind still being together if that's ever a possibility. You know that I've had a hard time getting on my feet and not on the streets and not be homeless. I'm now able to do so, save up for a car and everything. I have my own place and whatnot. Actually, when you think about it, how big the second bedroom is, because I have a 2-bedroom, it's only big enough to be like a kid's room, so, or a baby room or whatever. It's extremely small. But hell, I think my bedroom, where the bed's actually in, is only, it's like a small bedroom, you know. So anyways, though, just saying, if I ever find anyone and I'm still living here and they have kids or, toddlers or whatever, boom, we have kids room. But yeah, so anyways, though, I told her after I downloaded Kick again and I saw her reply, she's like, why? And I'm like, well, you and I used to be very close, and you used to love sending me pictures before. And she did. She would randomly send me a picture of her outfit and say, hey, what do you think of this or whatever. Like, we were very close and we were best friends. We were legitimate besties. Like, I'm not even joking. We were besties. And I miss that. I really do. It actually upsets me that I had someone so close and so dear who came into my heart, and they are barely in my life now. So, I mean, it might be, again, I see the drama of what's going on in her life as an excuse, because I still try and talk to her. I still reach out. It doesn't stop me from doing so. Although I do understand that stress is a big deal and can hinder your mind. But yeah, so that is what I was talking about earlier in the last video. So even though I'm already at the 8-minute mark, and this will have to be a multi-parter if my phone lets me. Excuse me. So again, Raina, jumping back to the original topic that still got me a little bit furied within me, if that can be a word, if that can be a phrase, kind of like infuriated, but not quite at the same level, just down here, not quite up here anymore. Raina sits here and wants to say she wants to be friends, and yet she's going to start treating me like shit just because we broke up. Oh, you're my ex. Well, I don't know if I could be friends with any of my exes. Anyone who says that is a lying piece of shit. I will say that right now. If you don't think you can be friends with your exes, that is on you. Yes, people hurt you. That is how human beings are. A lot of times, especially here in America, we are out to get one another. We don't get along. We all have our own secret agendas and shit. That's one reason why, when I can afford it and when I find where I want to go, I plan on moving out of the country. Something I was telling John. I do want to move out of the country. I want to maintain a United States citizenship, although technically I would because I was born here. But still, I want to move out of the country, and I haven't quite figured out where. Canada, England, Europe as a whole, somewhere, Ireland. Actually, I've thought about Australia just because it seems like a really cool place, but at the same time, it's backwards. And I don't mean backwards as an insult. I mean, like, literally, when it's summertime here, it's winter down there, and I don't know if I would be able to handle that. That and too many exotic big things to eat me. Spiders and whatnot just wandering around that can come in your house and kill it. And or kill you, I mean. Yeah, I'm not a fan of spiders, so I'll pass. Or at least until I actually go to Australia and find out how bad it really is versus what all the internet says. But yeah, so Raina says she wants to be friends, and that comes from her. She said that. So if she wants to be friends, don't treat me like shit. I don't care if it's week 1 or week 2 after the breakup. Yes, we're both still emotional. I mean, she hurt me more, and so the love that I have with her, yes, it's there. It will probably never fully go away, but she's hurt me so much to where, she breaks up, and I'm like, okay. Like, it's that to that point, like I said in the last 25-minute long video at some point. So, yeah, even though it's 2 separate recordings, I will make this when I upload it as, like, a part 3, if I can, to that, because it was supposed to initially be one giant, long, pissed-off rant. If you want to be friends with someone, hell, especially nowadays, where we have social media and social networking, if you don't want to talk to someone, don't talk to them. If you are the kind of person who, if you're not friends with someone or if you're not in contact, you have to unfriend them, fine. You know how to find that person. Go and re-add them. And forgive and forget. I don't want to sound like, Jesus or a Christian or whatever, but yeah, karma. Forgive and forget. Be forgiving, Just look at it as time has passed and it's a new day. You can have a new friendship. Just hit the reset button. It may be difficult nowadays because, you do have your memory, but just don't let that impact you so heavily. Don't let that weigh on you. Give it a few years and then ultimately, boom, you run into that person and you're like, oh, hey, how's it going and everything. And then you can be friends. You don't have to sit here and go, yeah, that's my ex-girlfriend and everything and make it all awkward and weird. Just be friends. Why can't people be friends anymore? Why can't we be nice? Why can't we be caring? Why can't we look out for one another? I mean, it seems to be kind of a thing a few days ago, because I had like 2 or 3 customers come into work at the UDF that I work at, and they paid for other people's stuff out of the kindness of their heart. They had no obligation. They weren't in a hurry and go, here, I'll pay for it. Just hurry up. They didn't do that. They were just like, here, I'll pick it up. And then this one guy, this older guy, he had a good enough age to him. He was just groggy and grumpy, and he wanted to get like I don't know, a beer, or I think it was some sort of alcohol drink, and he wanted change a particular way. He wanted, like, he made it all complicated. He's like, oh, I need to keep X amount of dollars on this card, and oh, this and that. And this lady who had been sitting in our ice cream parlor for I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, she'd been there a little bit. She comes up and she says she'll pay for it. And I couldn't imagine. I'm like, that's a nice person. That is good karma. That's giving off good energy from this one girl. For her doing that. And I don't know if she heard this guy, being that it basically just goes, customer counter, I'm on one side, he's on the other. And then the wall behind me where the cigarettes are, then on the other side of that wall, there's our ice cream parlor. So, where people can just go and chill and sit at a table and eat their ice cream. And so ultimately, she's sitting over there. So I don't know if she heard him or not, but he's like, oh, well, if you can't refund it or whatever, or if it's not going to work, then just, because she also had issues with her card. So she had to go call and figure it out. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just get these kind of cigarettes, or I'll get these. Like, he was getting alcohol and cigarettes and whatnot. And I'm like, dude,